So, data chatbots. Everyone's talking about it, right? Like, they're going to revolutionize everything. But are they really living up to all the hype?
Well, it's kind of like, remember all that buzz about self-driving cars?
Yeah, total game changer, supposedly.
Exactly. Tons of potential, but we're not all ditching our steering wheels just yet, right?
Definitely not. So today we're doing a deep dive into data chatbots and getting into what's actually happening. We're mainly focusing on this great blog post by Yoni Leidersdorf. He talked to over 170 data pros to get the real scoop.
170. Wow, that's got to be insightful.
Yeah, he really gets into the weeds. Like, the initial dream was that anyone in a company could just chat with their data, get instant answers, no SQL, no nothing.
Well, yeah, that was the big promise. Total data democracy, right?
Right. But, as Leidersdorf found out, it's trickier than it sounds.
Way trickier. One big thing he points out is this idea of a data language. Every company, it's like they have their own dialect, their own way of using terms, structuring things. You can't just throw a chatbot at it and expect it to get it.
It's like you can give someone a dictionary, but that doesn't make them fluent, right?
Exactly. Knowing the words isn't the same as understanding the conversation.
So how do companies deal with that?
Well, some are trying to, create these controlled environments for the chatbots. Leidersdorf talks about Databricks and their AI/BI Genie. It's marketed as this tool for direct data access, but even they rely heavily on experts to curate the information.
So it's not really a free-for-all conversation with the data?
Not quite. It's more like giving the chatbot a very specific menu of questions and answers.
Makes sense. You got to keep things accurate and secure, especially with company data.
For sure. And on top of that, Leidersdorf found that a lot of business users, they don't even know the right questions to ask in the first place. Analysts end up spending a ton of time just figuring out what people actually want.
So even with the chatbot, the analyst is still super important.
Absolutely. The human element is crucial, especially when things get complex or ambiguous.
I guess all that talk about chatbots replacing analysts was a bit premature.
Seems that way. There have been some successes, but mostly in very limited situations. Like WOP and e-commerce, they use chatbots for really specific FAQs.
So it's more like a super-powered FAQ bot than this, all-knowing AI.
Pretty much. And that's why we're seeing this shift towards the analyst assist model instead. Companies are realizing that AI can make analysts better, not obsolete.
So instead of replacing them, it's like giving them an AI sidekick.
Exactly. Think of driver assist features in a car. They don't replace the driver, they just make them better and safer.
That's a good analogy. So what are some of these analyst assist tools out there?
Well, LinkedIn and Grab, they've both built internal tools to help their analysts write better SQL queries, understand data faster.
So it's like having an AI that double-checks your code and makes suggestions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Super helpful, especially for newer analysts or when you're dealing with really messy data.
Sounds promising, but I'm guessing even this approach has its challenges.
Oh, definitely. Scaling it up for big teams is tough. Leidersdorf talks about how hard it was to build something for over 200 analysts at his company.
Wow, 200. Yeah, I can see how that get complicated.
And then there's making sure things are consistent across different teams and departments. It's not just about the tech working, it's about getting everyone on the same page.
So human oversight is still super important, even with these analyst assist tools.
No doubt about it. And it brings us back to those certified answers we were talking about earlier. Even Databricks, with their Genie platform, they rely on human experts to make sure those answers are accurate and trustworthy.
Wait, remind me, what are certified answers again?
It's basically having experts pre-approve the logic behind certain questions. Think of it as fact-checking for the chatbot. That way, even if a business user asks something directly, they know they're getting reliable info.
Makes sense. Combining the power of AI with human smarts and experience.
Exactly. It's not one or the other. It's about finding that sweet spot where they work together.
So it's less about AI replacing humans and more about augmenting their capabilities.
Perfectly put. And as AI keeps getting better, I think that's going to be the key.
Finding that balance. It's definitely an exciting time to be in the data world. It feels like we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Totally. Think about what we're already seeing. AI that can generate documentation, like Grab's Hubble project. What if future chatbots could learn directly from a company's knowledge base? You ask a question, and it seats specific documents to back up its answer.
Whoa, that'd be amazing. Like a chatbot that's also your company's walking encyclopedia.
Right. It's a glimpse into how much AI could change how we access and use information.
Well, it seems like the data chatbot journey is just getting started. Maybe one day they'll be as revolutionary as everyone's saying, but for
for now, let's enjoy the ride and see where this tech takes us.
It's definitely a fascinating ride. And it speaks to this larger trend we're seeing across industries, AI being used to, enhance human abilities, not replace them.
Yeah, it's like AI is becoming this powerful tool in the analyst's toolbox, helping them be more efficient and effective.
Exactly. And one of the key areas where AI is making a difference is streamlining that whole analysis process. We're seeing tools like Hex popping up designed to make data exploration and visualization more intuitive, more accessible.
Oh, I've heard of Hex. It's like a notebook-style platform, right? You can combine code, data, visualizations all in one place.
That's it. And the cool thing is, tools like that can integrate seamlessly with AI-powered features. So you can imagine an analyst using a chatbot to pull up some data, then hopping over to Hex to explore it visually, find patterns, get insights.
It's like this dynamic duo, AI and intuitive software, working together to make the whole analysis process faster and more powerful.
And that's just one example. We're also seeing AI used to improve the actual quality of SQL queries. LinkedIn, for instance, they've built a tool that helps their analysts write more efficient, more accurate code.
It's like having an AI grammar checker for your SQL, making sure you're not making any silly mistakes or writing code that's way too complicated.
Exactly. And that's got to be super valuable for analysts, especially those who are newer to SQL or dealing with really tricky data structures. It helps them avoid those common pitfalls and write cleaner, more efficient code.
It really does. And it highlights how these AI-powered tools are changing the game for analysts, giving them capabilities they didn't have before.
Giving them superpowers. But it's important to remember, these advancements aren't just about making analysts' lives easier. It's about helping organizations make better, faster decisions based on data.
That's the ultimate goal, right? Breaking down those barriers between data and the people who need to use it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as these AI-powered tools become more sophisticated and accessible, we can expect to see a more data-driven culture emerge across all kinds of industries.
It's a really exciting time to be working in data, that's for sure. But we got to be realistic, too. AI isn't a magic bullet. It's not going to solve every problem. There are still challenges and limitations we need to be aware of.
Right. We can't just blindly trust AI to handle everything. It's about understanding its strengths and weaknesses and using it strategically to, like you said before, augment our own capabilities.
Exactly. And that requires a certain level of data literacy and critical thinking skills. We need to be able to look at AI-generated insights and actually understand what they mean, validate them, recognize their limitations.
It's about being an informed user of AI, not just passively accepting whatever it spits out.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And as AI becomes more and more prevalent in our lives, this ability to think critically and engage with technology in a meaningful way is only going to become more important.
It's a skill that will be useful in pretty much every aspect of life, not just in the data world.
Absolutely. It's something we should all be working on no matter what we do.
So we've talked about the potential of AI in data analysis, how it can be transformative, but we also highlighted that human expertise is still essential, that critical thinking is crucial. It seems like the key is striking that balance between the two.
That's exactly it. It's about embracing AI's power, but not forgetting the value of human intuition, creativity, and judgment. Those things are irreplaceable.
It's about creating a future where AI and humans work together, each playing to their strengths to unlock the full potential of data.
And that's a future I'm really excited to see unfold.
Me too. But before we get too carried away with all the possibilities, there's one more thing I wanted to touch on. We've been talking about AI as a tool for analysts, but what about its impact on business users themselves?
That's a great point. And honestly, that's where some of the most interesting developments are happening right now. AI tools are becoming more user-friendly, more accessible, which means business users can interact with data in ways they never could before.
It's like that whole democratization of data idea we talked about earlier, finally starting to become a reality.
It really is. And it has the potential to change how organizations make decisions in a pretty fundamental way.
Imagine a world where every business user, no matter their technical skills, can ask questions of their data and get clear, actionable answers.
It would be revolutionary. We're not quite there yet, but we're definitely heading in that direction.
It's an exciting prospect for sure. But it also brings up some important questions about data governance and security. If data is more accessible, we need to make sure it's being used responsibly.
Absolutely. We need strong data governance frameworks to protect sensitive information and ensure AI-powered insights are used appropriately.
So it's about finding that sweet spot again, this time between accessibility and responsibility.
Exactly. And that's going to require collaboration between data professionals, business leaders, and policymakers.
It's a complex challenge, but it's one we need to tackle head on if we want to truly unlock the potential of AI in data analysis.
I couldn't agree more. And it's a conversation that needs to be happening now, especially as technology continues to evolve at such a rapid pace.
Ultimately, it's about shaping the future of data in a way that benefits everyone.
It really is. It's about making sure everyone benefits, not just a select few.
Exactly. And speaking of benefits, we've been talking about how AI can benefit organizations as a whole, but what about the analysts themselves? What skills do they need to thrive in this new world of data chatbots and AI-driven analysis?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's easy to get caught up in the tech, the shiny new tools, but those tools are only as good as the people using them.
Totally. You can have the fanciest AI in the world, but if the analyst doesn't know how to use it effectively, it's not going to do much good.
Right. And this is where that whole analyst assist idea comes in again. AI isn't about replacing analysts, it's about empowering them. But that means analysts need to adapt, learn new skills, change their mindset a bit.
So it's not just about learning how to use the specific tools. It's about understanding AI on a deeper level, like how it works, what it's good at, what it's not so good at.
Exactly. Analysts need to be comfortable working with AI, recognizing both its strengths and its weaknesses. They need to be able to ask the right questions, validate the results, understand the context of those results. It's not just about blindly accepting what the AI spits out.
It's almost like they need to become translators, right?
Yeah.
Translating between the world of data and the world of business. You got to be fluent in both languages to really bridge that gap.
That is a fantastic analogy. And as AI tools get even more advanced, that translation skill is going to become even more important. We're moving towards a future where business users might have direct access to AI insights, but they'll still need analysts to help them make sense of it all, to turn those insights into actions.
So it's not about analysts becoming obsolete. It's more about their role evolving, becoming more strategic, more advisory.
That's it. And that evolution requires a commitment to, lifelong learning. The data landscape is constantly changing, new tools, new techniques popping up all the time. Analysts need to be constantly learning, upskilling, staying ahead of the curve.
So it's not just about SQL and Python anymore. It's about critical thinking, problem solving, communication, even a bit of psychology, understanding how people interpret and use data.
All of that. It's that holistic approach to data analysis that's going to set the best analysts apart. Those who can combine the technical skills with business savvy and that deep understanding of human behavior, those are the folks who are going to be in high demand.
It sounds like the future of data analysis is less about number crunching and more about storytelling, connecting the dots, helping organizations navigate this increasingly complex data-driven world.
That's beautifully put. It's about moving beyond the raw data, extracting the meaning, the insights, the narratives that help people make good decisions. It's about becoming a data storyteller, a data strategist, a data whisperer.
Love that. A data whisperer. It perfectly captures the essence of what it means to be a successful data analyst in this new age of AI.
It really does. And it's exciting to be a part of this evolution, to see how the role of the analyst is changing and adapting. We're witnessing a fundamental shift in how organizations use and value data, and analysts are right at the heart of it.
It's a dynamic field, definitely challenging, but also incredibly rewarding. To be able to take complex data and turn it into something that can drive real positive change, that's powerful.
It is. And as AI continues to evolve, who knows what the possibilities are. But one thing's for sure, that human element will always be crucial in this journey of data discovery.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from the initial hype of data chatbots to the realities of AI implementation and the evolving role of data analysts. But before we sign off, I'd like to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Please do. I'm all ears.
As we navigate this increasingly complex and data-driven world, it's important to remember that data is not just a tool for businesses or organizations. It's a tool for all of us. It's a tool for understanding the world around us, for making informed decisions, for creating positive change in our communities and in our lives. So, let's embrace the power of data. Let's use it wisely, and let's use it for good.
That is a beautiful and inspiring message, and I couldn't agree more. Data is for everyone, and it's up to all of us to ensure that it's used responsibly and ethically to create a better future for all.
This has been the Deep Dive And we'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of the data landscape.
It's a fascinating time, that's for sure. So much is changing. But one thing that keeps coming up is no matter how advanced AI gets, it seems like data analysts are still going to be in high demand.
Yeah, that really struck me too throughout our deep dive. We talk about all this cool AI stuff, but it's clear the human expertise isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Exactly. If anything, I think the role of the data analyst is becoming even more critical as AI takes over some of those routine tasks. Analysts are free to focus on the bigger picture, the strategic thinking, the stuff that requires a human touch.
It's like AI is elevating the role of the analyst, giving them the space to contribute at a higher level.
That's a great way to put it. But that also means analysts need to keep learning, keep adapting to this rapidly changing landscape. They need to be comfortable working alongside AI, knowing its limitations, using it to their advantage.
It's all about that partnership, right? Human and artificial intelligence, each bringing something unique to the table.
Exactly. And that collaboration, that's what's going to unlock the full potential of data.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think the most important thing is to approach AI with a balanced perspective. Recognize its power, it's incredible what it can do, but don't get swept up in the hype. Be aware of its limitations too. AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It's up to us to make sure we're using it responsibly, ethically, to create a better future for everyone.
That's a powerful message and a perfect way to end our episode. We've explored the hype, the reality, the future of data chatbots. We've seen how AI is transforming the data landscape, and we've highlighted the enduring importance of human expertise. It's been an incredible journey. Thank you all for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and embrace the power of data.